Hey y'all. So this here is soap lady number one, and what I have here in my container is frozen beer. So what I'm doing right now is I have my beer frozen in cubes, if you can see that. And I'm adding my lye slowly but surely because if you have never seen us make beer soap before, and you've never seen that process, I will freeze alternative liquids like beer, goat's milk, wine, stuff like that. I'll freeze it because the sugars in those liquids will scorch under the heat and the chemical reaction from the lye. So you see it's already starting to melt. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's already starting to melt. And I took these ice cube trays directly from the freezer. And what I have in here is local beer, local to us. This came from Voodoo Brewery, so shout out Voodoo Brewery. But this is the basis of one of our, well, a couple of our men's soaps are made with beer. And this is going to be tobacco and caramel soap. So, I will slowly but surely melt down these cubes, and then I will add them to my oils and all that. And I usually add it just a little bit at a time because I want to get it all mixed in all together, so there's no, clumps at the bottom and everything is liquid, etc. But the reaction between lye or sodium hydroxide and any kind of liquid, it creates a thermal reaction that can get up to and over 200 degrees. So normally when you see me making soap, you'll see I have just distilled water because, of course, there's no added sugars or carbonation or anything like that. Now, you see how fast that melts it down? That is the reaction between the liquid and the lye. So, to prevent scorching of the sugars in the beer, or say goat's milk, or even when we make soap with wine, I will freeze them first and liquefy them before I add them to my room temperature oils and everything, because I'm trying to keep all of the temperatures down to prevent scorching, because if it does scorch, it doesn't smell great in your finished product. It smells really gross, and we don't want that. So I'll bring you guys back once it's all 100% liquid. Alrighty, bye. Okay, and we're back. So, in my bucket here, I have all of my oils at room temperature. In this bucket is palm oil, sustainably produced palm oil, coconut oil, and olive oil. So that's what's in here, plus a little sodium lactate. Sodium lactate is a salt, and it just helps the soap set up a little faster and release a little easier from the mold. It's just a salt derivative. And I got the head of my stick blender right here. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to filter the beer that we melted earlier into my oils. I'm going to just pour it straight through, and literally I melted this like maybe 20 minutes ago, and that's my beer. Now you see how dark that beer was. The finished soap is not going to stay that dark. The scent I am using today is from Crafter's Choice or Wholesale Supplies Plus. It is tobacco and caramel. The colorant I'm using today is titanium dioxide. It's just a whitener. I've got some activated charcoal, again from Wholesale Supplies Plus, and some really red mica powder from Nurture Soap. So I have those already dispersed into some containers. Off camera you can't see them, but we're gonna get started mixing it up. And to start any kind of soap, you just add your lye water, and in this case your beer and lye mixture to your room temperature oils. And we're gonna whip it, we're not whipping it, we're just mixing it up until you get to what's called a light trace. Normally I will, other soapers know what it's called when it's water discounted, but when I make soap with alternative liquids, I do not water discount them. And you see this nice dark kind of caramelly color of the soap. It's not going to stay this color. Because like I said, I'm adding some colorants and that kind of thing. And now we're going to split the batch off into 3 separate containers. So it doesn't take long to come to trace or what have you. And this batch of soap will, once the fragrance and the lye, the beer and all that is added together, comes to about 10 pounds. So this will end up being about 10 pounds of soap. And I am a very messy soaper, so I always have newspaper laying around, because if I didn't, I would have stuff everywhere, basically. And you see how thick that has gotten, and like I said, it's not water discounted, nor I'm basically working at room temperature, my oils and my lye mixture. And that again is because of the sugars that are in the beer. When I make beer soap, I will normally I'll freeze the beer, and then I will first I'll boil it down. Sorry, I had a brain fart there for a second. I'll boil it down to get rid of the excess carbonation. And so once it's really good and flat, I'll add it to my ice trays, and then I will freeze it overnight. So I'm adding that back to my large batch. And tell you the God's honest truth, this is not nearly as white as I would like, so I'm going to add a little more titanium dioxide. Titanium oxide. Only because, I mean, I don't want it super white, but I didn't. And this is about the color butterscotch, and what I really want is more of a cream, I guess. So I'm gonna pause you guys and I'll come back. We're back. So I'm adding a little more TO because I did, like I said, I did want this a little whiter, a little lighter than what you see here. And I guess that'll work for now. So I'll scrape down my big container. Make sure I get all that excess uncolored soap. Make sure it's all mixed in nicely before I add my scent or what have you. And sometimes this is just the nature of the beast. Sometimes it will set up a little faster than you had anticipated, that kind of thing. And you just have Here is my scent. Some of my scent. I have two other. This is a soap we haven't had in a while because of, well, unforeseen circumstances, but it's very popular with the men, so I made a point to make sure we had it back. I'm gonna set this off to the side and bring in my molds. Now these molds are from Essential Depot, and what I really love about them is that they can stack on top of each other and on my shelves. So here we go. You see how thick that is? Yeah. And I have a little bit of ricing going on, but not a whole lot. Nothing that I can't, you know, handle, what have you. And we'll do our next color. So here's that really red mica that has decided to sit up really thickly. But it's not a big deal, nothing I haven't worked with before or will again. But just keep in mind that when you are making soap with beer or wine or coconut or what have you, your fragrances are not going to move in the same, you know, context as if it was just water. It'll set up a little faster, that kind of thing. So I don't know if I would call it an advanced quote-unquote technique, but you definitely want to have a couple of batches under your belt before you tackle it. Oh boy, we got thick today. That soap is thicker than a Snicker. Alright. Now on to my activated charcoal. Ooh, child. I need to learn how to talk better on camera because dead silence. So as you guys go along with me, you know, I'll be learning things, you'll be learning things. It'll be great. Whoop. Try not to get the dang soap everywhere. Oh my goodness. I told y'all I was a messy soaper, right? Did I mention that? Because I am. My goal is to be as good as Katie Carson, where she's all nice and neat and not looking a hot mess. Normally I don't like it to be this thick when it's first setting up, but I don't think I have much of a choice now, do I? That's alright. The thicker it is, the easier it'll be for me to texture the top and make it look all pretty and whatnot. Not that men care about pretty soap, but you want it to be appealing. So this is the charcoal bit. And I just kind of smoosh it down in there. Get it all in there before I put on the next layer. This one's got a little more in it than the other one. That's okay, because I'm going to make it pretty. Ew, messy. I know I'm blocking y'all, I'm sorry. That's alright, I'll get it. Woo chow. I don't know, y'all, this might end up going in the bloopers reel, because this is, ooh. There we go. Now you may be wondering why I'm using perfectly good beer in the soap instead of drinking it. Number one, I'm not really a beer drinker. This doesn't, it's not my jam. But the sugars in the beer will create a really fluffy, really moisturizing lather. If you ever remember back in the day when people like to rinse their hair with beer because it made the hair really shiny and that kind of thing, it's the same kind of principle. A little on this one. Scrape out the container because I don't want any of that soapy goodness left behind. I want it all in the mold and all there for y'all. I just dropped something on the floor. Dee-da, dee-da. Good thing it was an actual lie. Oh, the doo-dah day. Did I mention I'm a messy soaper? Normally it looks better today. I'm serious, you guys. I'm making a mess. Bloop. And a bloop. So let this be a lesson to y'all. Make sure everything real cool, because I actually think my beer might have still been a little warm, and that's what made it set up so quick. But that is okay. I got soap on a stick. That's all right. Alright, I'll be back after this short break because, yeah, I'm back. Okay, now, I cannot say that this is the prettiest soap I ever made, but let me tell you what, it smells divine, and the fellas in your life are really going to like it. Now, what I have here is just a plain old disposable spoon that I'm using to texture the top, and I've knocked out all of the air bubble pockets, what have you, that might be in the soap. Now, I'm trying to be sitting at the table with the cool kids, the non-messy soapers, like Katie and Kenny. Well, she calls herself the messy soaper. Royal Appleberry, she calls herself the messy soaper, but I hardly ever see her make a mess. But like I said, I'm trying to be a little neater and, you know, just tidy it up, the corners and everything. And like I said, I will leave links to all of the items that I've used in this soap if you're concerned about, you know, what's in it, what have you. These soaps will be available for purchase within, I like to let them sit 6 weeks, especially if it's a soap that I have not water discounted, because the longer you let it sit, the more excess water will evaporate from the soap, and the more excess water, the harder the bar would be. So if you ever buy handmade soap, just remember that this is not like your commercial soap that you can buy from, you know, the store or what have you. If you let this soap sit in a puddle in the bottom of your bathtub, you'll come back to goo. It won't be soap anymore. So you need to let your handmade soap, and this is any handmade soap, not just ours, you need to let them dry out between uses, and a draining soap dish or a dry ledge is best, and you'll have them the longest. That's why we let them cure for so long, because like I said, the excess water that it will evaporate during the curing process leads to a harder bar. Harder bar, longer lasting. So I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing me make an absolute atrocious mess with my soap. And this is what I was talking about, y'all, that these will stack on top of each other and go on the cutting racks. And then, oh dang, you can't see it now, but in about I like to let them sit for a while. It's like, it's, again, because they do have the excess water. I'll let them sit for about a week before I'll cut them. Soaps that are not water discounted, what have you. But yeah, so look for these in about 6 to 8 weeks. Here's a close-up. So I hope to see y'all soon, and we'll talk to you later. Bye for now.